Do you want to know what the last scene in the Rise of Skywalker could be? Keep watching!
Hello, what have we here?
Hello there! Welcome back to the channel for another Star Wars Rumors video. Kevin Smith has revealed a little bit about the last scene in the Rise of Skywalker, and I think I've worked out what it could be. Possible spoiler ahead. If you enjoy this video, please leave a like, and if you're new here, please subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest Star Wars rumors. So if you've been a Star Wars fan since the first movie came out in 1977, you've probably always been hoping for another movie to come out so we could continue to see the adventures of Luke, Han, and Leia. In 1980, we got The Empire Strikes Back, and in 1983, The Return of the Jedi concluded the first trilogy. We waited and hoped for years to get another trilogy, hoping to see what state the universe was in after the defeat of the Empire. When the next trilogy was released, we didn't get the sequels we hoped for, but we got Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi's backstory in what we now call the prequel trilogy. The prequel trilogy concluded in 2005, and according to George Lucas, there were no more Star Wars movies to be made. Fans remained hopeful, and in 2012 Disney acquired Lucasfilm and production started on The Force Awakens, which is the first movie in what is now called the sequel trilogy. The Rise of Skywalker is almost upon us, and Lucasfilm has said that this will be the last film in the Skywalker saga. I don't know about you guys, but I've already been thinking about what the last scene could be. I've probably spent more time thinking about it than I should have. There's so many ways it could end, and I hope it does the whole saga and all of its characters justice. Recently, Kevin Smith was interviewed by IGN, and towards the end of the interview he mentions getting to visit Pinewood Studios during the filming of The Last Skywalker. He had the opportunity to see the set for the last shot of the movie. He turned this opportunity down because he didn't want to spoil it for himself. He was told by a crew member that it will melt your mind, and JJ told him, "You don't want this spoiled. You'll want to be in a theater when this happens. Trust me." Kevin also mentioned that the set for the last scene was big. A link to the interview is in the description, and they talk about Star Wars around the 11-minute and 30-second mark. As I was saying before, I think too much about what the last scene could be, and after seeing the interview, I had a long 4-hour drive by myself. I had no music or radio or anyone to talk to. It was just me alone with my thoughts, and I got myself thinking, what could this last scene be? What would melt my mind? It would have to be something emotional. Maybe someone dies. Maybe C-3PO and R2-D2 are somehow destroyed. No, it would be too mentally disturbing for too many children. Maybe Lando or Chewie could die. No, they wouldn't do that, the fans would get too angry. Maybe Rey and Kylo settle down on Tatooine on a moisture farm not far from Tosche Station, and the last scene is them holding twins while the dual suns set over the horizon. No, the Rise of Skywalker is meant to be the definitive end to the Skywalker saga. That would mean no more Skywalker kids. And I'm pretty sure the Lars farmhouse would be filmed on location out in the desert, not on a set. So what could it be? Then it occurred to me, where have most of the Star Wars adventures really started? Who or what has saved the day on more than one occasion? And what way could JJ symbolize that this is the end to the whole Skywalker saga?
What a piece of junk!
That's right. The Falcon has been avoiding Imperial entanglements ever since Luke, Han, and Chewie first met. And I believe that the last scene in The Rise of Skywalker will show the demise of the Falcon. Let's take a quick look at the role the Falcon has played in aiding the rebellion and the resistance. From a certain point of view, it delivered a much needed shipment of coaxium to a very young rebellion. It was the ship that took Luke away from Tatooine, and he got his first lesson of using the Force aboard the ship. It's this ship that rescued Princess Leia and returned her and the plans to the first Death Star back to the rebellion. When all hope was lost for the rebels during the attack on the first Death Star and Vader was seconds away from destroying Luke's X-Wing, the Falcon took out one of Vader's wingmen, causing the other wingman to spin out of control, sending Vader out of the fight, giving Luke the opportunity to fire his proton torpedoes into the exhaust port of the Death Star and destroying it. The Falcon was a ship that Princess Leia used to flee the Empire during the attack on Hoth. The Falcon was a ship that rescued Luke from Cloud City after his first battle with Vader. The Falcon led the Rebel Alliance in a battle against the second Death Star and also fired a shot that led to the second Death Star's destruction. Moments after meeting each other, Finn and Rey escaped Jakku on board the Falcon. And honestly, this was one of the best scenes in The Force Awakens. Everyone in the theater cheered when the Falcon appeared on the screen. The Falcon took Han, Chewie, and Finn through the shield surrounding Starkiller Base. The Falcon brought Rey to the Resistance base, and Rey also flew to Arc 2 in it to get training by Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. Luke mourned on the Falcon for his best friend, and it's where he was reunited with R2-D2. While the Resistance were being attacked on Crate, the Falcon drew away the First Order air support, giving Luke Skywalker an opportunity to distract Kylo Ren while the remaining Resistance members escaped. On board the Falcon, into the next movie. The Falcon has been a vital part to the Rebellion and the Resistance. With a few exceptions, none of the main characters in the original and sequel trilogy would have met. The Falcon is just as much Star Wars as Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Yoda, and R2-D2. Now entertain me for a bit here. The Falcon belonged to Han Solo. Ben murdered him, and we see Rey is the new captain, and Chewie remains the co-pilot. I have always thought that the Falcon should have been passed on to Kylo. Han would have always wanted his son to have it. Kylo's father owned and flew the Falcon, and it's possible his grandfather built it, so he's definitely connected to it. Han probably took Ben for rides in it when he was younger, and Ben has probably even flown it himself on a few occasions. I can imagine Leia telling a young Ben how she escaped from Vader on it while being rescued on the Death Star, and how they rescued Luke from Bespin after his fight with Vader in it. Twice we've seen Ben get emotional over the Falcon. Once in a deleted scene from The Force Awakens when he finds that it's crash landed near Starkiller Base, and again when he sees it during the Battle of Crate. In The Last Jedi, we see that Ben is still torn over his father's death, and that he couldn't bring himself to destroy the ship that his mother was on. We all have that feeling that he will be redeemed in The Rise of Skywalker. What if, after his redemption, he takes his father's place in the captain's seat of the Falcon in one last mission to take out the threat of the dark side from ruling the galaxy once and for all. During this mission, he sacrifices himself and the Falcon to take out a threat, and the battle is won. Rey, Chewie, Finn, and Poe get to the Falcon to find it destroyed beyond repair, with Kylo close to it on the ground dying or already dead. They all have one last cry while mourning the death of their new friend and ally, while we're all crying at the destruction of the Falcon, which signifies no more Skywalker saga. Maybe. I don't know. It was just a thought. Something I thought about for too long during a 4-hour drive. This would probably melt my heart more than my mind. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Let me know in the comment section what you think the last scene could be. Do you think that Disney would write the Falcon off to melt our minds? Do you think Kylo should inherit the Falcon? Stay good everyone, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.